What is Rainbow? Well, you've just heard about lithium, you've probably heard about cobalt, you've probably heard about nickel. I'm here to tell you that rare earths have the same drivers. We're hot on electric vehicles. There's going to be a lot of demand for rare earth products because rare earths go into the magnets in electric vehicle motors. If you believe in the electric vehicle revolution, you should also believe in rare earths. Rainbow is the only producing rare earths mine at the moment in Africa. We are the 90% owner of the Kakara project. We think it's the highest grade rare earth project in the world. There's a few other rare earth companies here. They are like a number of the other junior developers. Typically, a hard rock deposit has a grade of TREO, total rare earth oxides, of about 1% to 5%. We, on average, have 47 to 67% in our in-situ veins. It's on a magnitude very, very different to anything else out there. We've got a high-value basket. Rare earths themselves, for those who don't know, are 17 different elements. The ones that everybody's excited about are Nd and Pr, neodymium and praseodymium, and they go into permanent magnets, the strongest magnets that go into electric motors. But not only motors, you've got some in your smartphones, wind turbines. If you believe in green energy, wind turbines are increasingly a big use of rare earth magnets as well. We are a mining company. We dig out rock, we process it, and we have a partnership with the German blue chip company ThyssenKrupp. They do all our trading for us. They find buyers all over the world for our rare earth mineral concentrate. We're a small mining company. They've got a much bigger reach than we have, and it's a huge seal of approval for a junior like us to be partnered with a blue chip like ThyssenKrupp. We only IPO'd a year ago, end of January last year, and we raised $8 million. Over the course of last year, again, unusually, we delivered on the promises we made to the market. We've developed our first mining area. We've built a processing plant. We've undertaken some exploration with airborne surveys, and I'll come on to that. We've exported, or produced and exported, our first batch and 4 more batches subsequently since December last year. So we're in production, we're earning revenue. And for a mining company to IPO and do that within the 12 months is little heard of, I'm sure you'll agree. The market was keen to give us some more money, so just before Christmas last year we raised a further just under $4 million. That's going to allow us to fund our first ever drilling campaign in Q1 this year, and I'll come on to that shortly. We IPO'd at 10p, we're currently at 14 and a bit. The investors are happy. IPO price 10p, the most recent fundraising was at 14, so we're well in the money. We have a very tight shareholder base, although we have attracted some key UK institutions in Legal & General and Miton, who are well-known names in our part of the world, perhaps not so much here. But we have a lot of long-term shareholders wanting to be there for the ride as we develop the project further. For those who don't know about rare earths, I've mentioned magnets, but there are other uses as well. Rare earths go into glass making, into fuel refining, into magnets in motors, as I've said, and a whole host of other things. But it's really the use in magnets that drives the value. 20% of our rare earths are neodymium and praseodymium. That's 80% of our value in the basket. You may know that China dominates production of rare earths. We're the only producing mine in Africa. The only other mine of any significance in production at the moment outside of China is Lynas. It has the Mount Weld project in Australia. There's a lot of demand coming because of the uses I've talked about. There's not a lot of short-term supply. There are other projects out there. Typically, they need capex in the hundreds of millions to get developed. In the meantime, we are producing and selling. And I've talked about EVs, smartphones, wind turbines. You all know about the EV revolution that's coming. The UK government, for one, has set a 2040 deadline for rare earths, but we believe the switchover is going to happen long before 2040. There's a shot of our mine. We've got a mining license for 25 years in Burundi, East Africa. That hill there is the first of what will be multiple mining areas within our deposit. Typically, each area we're going to mine is a hill. It's an upside-down open pit, effectively. We are reducing the height of a hill by mining it out. We strip either side of the veins we've identified. They're open at surface, but they extend at depth. And it's very, very simple mining. One investor here this morning called it teaspoon mining. We have such high grade that we don't need to mine a large volume. And you'll see the extent of our operations there. It's a very small fleet, and we'd rather have local labour, which is cost effective for us and creates jobs in an area of high unemployment, than a whole expensive fleet of machinery. So, geography lesson for those who don't know where Burundi is. It's small, it's landlocked in East Africa. We are trucking our mineral concentrate to port on the east coast. Mombasa is where we truck to. And the crucial thing for us as a junior, cash flow wise, we get paid upon delivery to ThyssenKrupp at Mombasa. We're not waiting for containers to be shipped around the world and waiting for potentially untrustworthy, unreliable customers on the other side of the world. We get paid at Mombasa by ThyssenKrupp. So cash flow wise, credit risk wise, we've minimized that problem. The government of Burundi has a 10% free carry in our project. We've got great relations with the state, the institutions of state in Burundi, and we're a flag bearer for the Western mining industry in the country. We've done what we said we would do, and I like to think we're well viewed by the country at the moment. That's a shot of our mining license area. That's the jagged red shape you see there. That encompasses all of the discoveries we've made. We found over 1,000 rare earth incidences within our mining license deposit. You look at the upper circle there, that's just our first of what will be, as I say, many mining areas within the deposit. And we've got 25 years for the license, and it's renewable thereafter. Location-wise, it's about an hour to 90 minutes drive from the capital city, so easily commutable in a day. We have a processing plant that's 20 kilometers away due south of Bujumbura by the lake there. You'll see, crucially, that's on flat ground by the tarmac road. So our export trucks can come in, get out very easily. They're not having to negotiate A, the countryside, and B, more difficult terrain around the mine. A couple of shots there, both of the current mining area and the next one. As I say, each mining area is typically a hill. So Gashirwe is our second identified mining area, and we've already started the initial work to get that area ready. And we envisage being at Gasagwe for at least the next couple of years. We've got very, very high-grade veins that are consistent at depth. We've tested on surface, 35 meters down, and typically the grade is homogeneous all the way down. We've also built a processing plant. It's very, very simple, off-the-shelf, new kit. It's crushers, conveyor belts, a jig, and shaking tables. We have very, very high-grade ore. We can be quite selective in what we process, even on a conservative basis. If you assume that perhaps 20% of what goes in the front end is waste, we're only processing 6,000 tons a year to get our 5,000 tons of target concentrate production. It's very, very simple, and it uses gravity because the concentrate we want to extract is 4 times SG. So the lighter stuff gets shaken off the shaking table, off the jig, and we can concentrate the product we want. That processing plant started commissioning in December. It's now done, and we're ramping up production every week, every month for the first half of this year. I seem to have frozen. There we go. In November last year, we announced the success from our initial airborne exploration. We flew a magnetic survey over the entire license. And what we were looking for were circular anomalies. Why? Because rare earth veins come from carbonatite pipes. And we've identified 4 distinct circular anomalies within the license. We're going to be drilling all of these anomalies in Q1 this year, alongside a 5th anomaly, which is in a hill called Kienzi, whereby a gravity ground-based survey, we found a dense structure just 10 to 20 meters below the surface, which is, as it says in the last bullet point there, 22 by 80 by 100 meters in size. Just to put that into context, that's roughly 175,000 meters cubed. Because of the SG, you can multiply that by 3 to 4. We might have 500,000 tons of material there. That's well above the total annual production of rare earth oxides. So, news flow this year from the drilling, we expect initial news in April. If that's successful, there'll be a phase 2 later in the year, and we expect our first JORC resource by the end of the year. We want to get to 5,000 tons a year run rate by the end of this year, 6,000 tons a year next year. The exploration, we hope, will bring good news during the course of this year and get us to a JORC resource. And that is it. Thank you.